Another thing that really irked me about Glee season 2 and 3 was the bullying storyline. Like, I appreciate the bullying storyline, I really do. I think Chris Colfer is an excellent actor, and he portrayed it very well. I mean, he's probably one of the best actors on the show, to be perfectly honest. Like, he's absolutely phenomenal. And I love him to death. Not a huge fan of Kurt, because, he's kind of whiny and annoying and selfish, but that's a whole nother story. But I appreciated certain parts of his bullying storyline. I know a lot of gay teenage suicide were going on at the time, and so it was kind of a response to that. But I really didn't like the way they handled it. I felt like it was so half-assed sometimes. Like, all of a sudden, Karofsky was just targeted on Kurt. And if you go back and watch the episodes back from season 1 and season 2, you'll notice that the person Karofsky actually bullies the most when he really came to play is Finn. Like, he was always talking shit about Finn and how gay he was and blah, blah, blah. So it kind of would have made sense that he was harboring feelings for Finn at some point in time, but we already had that Kurt and Finn thing, and we don't really need to rehash that. But I really felt like, okay, when people were bullying Kurt, it was a huge deal. Like, oh my god, how can you be so homophobic and bully Kurt, blah, 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 and it was a huge deal, and anytime anyone said anything about Kurt being a stereotype, it was just, oh, they're so awful, blah, 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 blah. But up until that point, bullying had been played for laughs. Like, that one time when Puck wasn't popular anymore and people were bullying him, we're just supposed to be like, ha ha ha, isn't that funny when they're bullying the kids and the Glee kids and throwing slushies in their faces? Like, it's physical comedy. Like, it's supposed to be funny. Like, oh, poor Glee kids, but ha ha ha. It was supposed to be humorous. And I felt that with a lot of it. Like, Santana is a bitch to everyone. Like, she's one of the biggest bullies on the show, and yet she's supposed to be hilarious. And when she bullies people, it's funny. But when people say anything to Kurt, it's like, oh my god, like, how can you be so homophobic and say anything to Kurt? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, what the hell? You never treated bullying seriously before, and all of a sudden, like, when it gets to Kurt, like, you can't touch him. And that's not to say that, you should be able to bully gay people, because you shouldn't. That's bullshit. You shouldn't bully anyone. And I appreciate they're trying to get that message across of, don't bully gay people, but I really don't think it was handled very well, because it almost seems like a hypocrisy. Like, when you get to Kurt, you can't bully him, it's wrong, but you can bully everyone else and it's played for laughs. Like, that's what I really felt like for season 1 and 2. I was just kind of like, well, why don't you care about these other characters that are being bullied? Why is that played for laughs? Why does it only matter when Kurt gets bullied? It's not that gay bullying is an important issue, because it is, and people die, and it's terrible, but I'm just kind of like, why is it only bullying when it happens to Kurt? Of course, I guess they're trying to remedy that, like this past episode, which is completely absurd with the whole dodgeball thing. It was just stupid. Like, I was bored. It was stupid. I did not care for that episode at all. And I'm done. Like, I'm having a hard time really caring. Like, season 1, I cared about the characters. Even Rachel, I mean, she got on my nerves because she's just an annoying character. That's just her personality. But I could at least see where she was coming from and kind of root for her in a way. And I could root for New Directions, I saw good qualities in them. And season 2, I really didn't give a shit about anyone. I could care less about the Finn, Quinn, Rachel love triangle. It's trite, it's stupid, it's been done, blah, 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 done, throw it away, don't care. The only people I really cared about for season 2 were Kurt, because of his bullying storyline, Karofsky, which had such potential as a character. Like, he had so much potential. Like, I was more interested in his story. Like, I wanted to see what was going on with Karofsky. I think that Max Adler did a great job portraying him, and I really wanted to know more about his character, and he ended up kind of being thrown away in the end, but I really thought he was a fabulous character, and I wanted to know more about him, his storyline. And then, Santana, I guess, and and her coming out or not coming out story. Those are pretty much the only people I really cared about in season 2. And all of those people aren't even the best people, really. I mean, everyone in this cast, you're supposed to root for them and feel for them because, oh, they're outcasts. But they really have awful personalities. Rachel is self-centered, manipulative. She's a bully. Like, she sent Sunshine Corazon to a crack house because she was threatened by her talent. Like, she's a terrible person. She's always putting her ambition before other people, whether it's the Glee Club or her boyfriend or whatever. You know, occasionally she has her moments where, oh, she realizes, oh, I can't be a selfish bitch and only be after myself. But then the next episode, she's stabbing someone in the back again, all the time. Mercedes, she's lazy and a diva and also very self-centered. Santana, she's probably the biggest bully on the show. And yes, I understand she's a closet homosexual and, you know, she makes for a complex and interesting character, but that doesn't take away from the fact that she's a bitch and she doesn't have the right to just go around and bully everyone. Like, I get it, she's a closeted homosexual, the same thing with Karofsky. Why are all the biggest bullies closeted homosexuals? Like, is that a social commentary you're trying to make, Lee? I don't know. But anyway, you know, she's a bully. She manipulates people, stabs people in the back. No allegiance to Glee Club. She's been going in and out season 1, 2, and 3, doing just whatever the hell she wants. There doesn't seem to be any permanent consequences. Like, she got kicked out for 2 seconds and then was still, like, one of the lead people in the school play, back in Glee Club. Didn't really matter. Just stupid. Artie's been pretty neglected this season. The Asians, as I call them, Tina and Mike, because they're just Asian. Like, they're just in the background being Asian. You know, every time Tina talks, I'm surprised. Like, oh, you're still on this show. You're that one girl who's had no relevance since season 1. Jenna Ushkowitz is very talented, but they give her nothing. Mike Chang has had a storyline this season, which I felt really forced, but I guess, you know, at least he's got some kind of character development, so yay for that. Tina's just sitting around in the background, doing nothing, just being there to be there. Like, she's no person, like, she's just a cardboard cutout. Like, there's nothing there, like, nothing. So I can't really like or dislike her. Finn is just a douche. Like, he's always going back and forth, football, Glee Club, Rachel, Quinn, da, 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 da. Like, he's just annoying, and he's a total douche to Blaine just because he's threatened by him. Really, and he's just always acting like a jerk to him. I don't really have very much respect for Finn at this point, really. Sue is just evil incarnate. I don't know how she has a job. Season 1, she was amusing. Season 2, she just became this cartoon character twirling her evil mustache. Like, she's not even amusing. Honestly, the episodes are better when she's not in it. And that's sad because I really loved Sue, and I love Jane Lynch. She's hilarious, but they don't know what to do. It's like they've written Sue into a corner and they don't know what to do with let's just have her do all of her old antics from season 1. Like, she'll try to destroy Glee Club and then she'll have a change of heart for a second and then she'll go back to destroying the Glee Club. Like, they don't know what the hell else to do with her. And it's just getting ridiculous, pushing kids down the stairs, beating up people, throwing shit across what? Like, she's just throwing crap across the school. Like, how does she still have a job? Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like, I can deal with a certain level of silly in a show, but it's just gotten to the point where it's completely ridiculous. Like, it's just in its own alternate universe. It's not even close to the real world. It makes no sense. They had a really excellent opportunity with Coach Beast to portray someone who's not necessarily like the typical beauty, not necessarily feminine, and make her a really cool, strong character. And like, I felt that at first, but now every time they portray her, she's like this clueless, dumb oaf, you know, kind of gross, slightly unhygienic. Like, I don't understand. Like, they had a really good opportunity with her character, and I feel like it gets squandered. I really do. Like I said, I love Darren Criss to death. Could watch him all day, but I don't really care for Blaine. Honestly, I think he's kind of boring. Like, he has the personality of a tree stump. And, you know, which is the opposite of Darren, because, you know, he's just kind of like, all over the place. But Blaine kind of bores me, to be perfectly honest. I mean, okay, Blaine is cute, but I really don't care much for Blaine or Kurt. I mean, Kurt is self-centered and annoying and whiny. He has his moments where he has growth, but then they like completely demolish it and just make him a jerk again. The same thing they did with Quinn. Like, she had all that character development, and then they completely made her a psycho bitch in season 2. Well, they made her a psycho bitch really in season 3, but they made her just as awful season 2. Another thing about season 3 that bothers me is that it seems like it should be season 2. Like, the whole baby storyline, which I could give a crap about at this point, it would have made more sense if they would have done that season 2. Like, she hasn't been with this child for how long? Like, a whole year. She hasn't sought out this child or anything, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I want my baby back. Like, what the hell? And I don't know how she thinks she's going to get a hold of her child. She's still in high school. She has no job. She gave up all of her rights to the child. Even if Shelby was a terrible mother, like, why would you get the child back? What do you have to offer? I mean, honestly. She showed no interest in having this child before. They barely even mentioned it. Like, they glossed over it a couple times in season 2. It was almost like it never happened. Again, things happening in a vacuum. And then, of course, they brought the whole Puck thing back, but they completely ignored all that shit season 2. And maybe part of that had to do with Sam, who is coming back next episode. I don't know when he's coming back, but he's coming back, and I don't really care. Honestly, I thought Sam was like a less douchey version of Finn. I think if they would have went with his original storyline, it would have been a lot more interesting. Because honestly, I thought Sam was a really boring character. I have nothing against Cord Overstreet. He seems like a swell guy. But Sam is boring. I had no connection to his character. I mean, I felt kind of bad when you found out he was poor. I was like, oh, poor Sam. But other than that, I don't give a crap about his character. And it makes me sad because I really once cared for these characters. And they're written in ways that just makes them detestable people. And it's like these are supposed to be the underdogs that you're supposed to root for. But why would I want to root for them? Rachel Berry, I don't want to root for her. She's a terrible person. Mercedes, I have no reason to root for her. Like, none. I mean, not even Kurt, who, people get upset when you say things about Kurt. Like, you say something against Kurt, then you're homophobic, which is ridiculous. I know lots of homosexuals that don't like Kurt as a character at all. He's whiny, he's selfish, and he does bully people in a way. So, no. I don't really have a whole lot of attachment for his character. The only reason I really even watch this show anymore is because I love the cast. Like Chris Colfer, Darren Criss, Naya Rivera, Heather Morris. Like, I love them as people, and so I think I put more into their characters that's there. Like, oh, look at them, kind of see their personality shine through. But when I actually look at the characters and the way they're written, I don't care about any of them, and it doesn't make me want to watch the show. And honestly, after this episode, the way it's going, I have no reason to watch the show anymore. I'm really not interested in any of the characters. I don't really care about any of the storylines. Like, there's no reason for me to continue to watch the show. I feel like the writers don't care about making a good product. They just feel like making money. I feel like they don't care about writing something that's decent. They just want to make money off of their iTunes royalties. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's honestly how I feel. I feel like they're almost insulting my intelligence as an audience. Like, they just throw all these things at me. It's all smoke and mirrors, but there's no heart anymore. There's no story. There's nothing keeping me interested in this show. I'm not interested in any of the characters. The only character that I like is Sebastian. And Sebastian is supposed to be unlikable. Like, he's an unlikable guy. But unlike the other Glee members who are unlikable and yet you're supposed to like him, he's unlikable to be unlikable. And I like him. But yeah, I don't feel like you care about making a really good product for your audience. So I'm not going to continue watching the show. If you don't want to make, plots that make sense, you don't want to have character development, you don't want to have good continuity or make a storyline that makes sense and is coherent and intelligent, you're not going to put any effort into making your show good, then why should I make the effort to sit through it? When watching a show becomes like a duty, then it's time to stop watching it. Because I almost feel like it's my duty to watch Glee. Like, I supported it in the beginning, I really wanted it to be good, and you know what? It's not. And I have no interest in watching it anymore. I really don't. So, that's all I really have to say about Glee today. I will see you guys the next time I make a video. So, bye to anyone who actually watched this. I'm gonna go watch some Doctor Who.